In today's video, I'm gonna talk about New York City. I've been to New York City so many times already. The Spider-Man movies do take place in New York City. Of course, lots of superhero movies take place in New York. Well, they're based on comic books written by Stan Lee. This guy's from New York as well, but I never read any comic books. I wish I could read superhero comics someday. It's kind of interesting thing about superhero comic books. They're kind of like movies with pages and pictures. It might be cool to read someday. I don't know if there's any comic books available at the library to read. That would be kind of cool. Are there any well, I don't live in New York City. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, and Los Angeles, California. My current city is Los Angeles, California. That gets us lots of good jobs in the film industry there. That's why I want to live in LA, but I'm not really a big fan of LA anyways. LA's been kind of boring so far. But the sad part about living in LA is my house got burned down in the Eden fire. The reason why I live in LA so I can go visit my grandma during Christmas, but the problem about LA, there's nothing but art museums. That's all LA have to offer. It's kind of boring around here. Are there any superheroes living in Los Angeles? Well, oh yeah, because that's the bit I'm going to talk about today. It's superheroes living in different cities across the US, or around the world whatsoever. Do you guys think that could be superheroes living in LA or California? I don't think there's any superheroes living in California. What about Arnold Schwarzenegger? He's a famous action hero from California. He stars lots of movies about police officers fighting criminals and stuff like that. Terminator is about a robot who fights policemen. He's kind of like a superhero, of course. But, Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, that guy from Europe, he's the most famous superhero in California and Los Angeles. We play the Terminator. Terminator movies are kind of like superhero movies. Mostly the sequels, not the first movie. And the first Terminator movie, the Terminator was the bad guy. That's because he wanted to kill a girl named Sarah Connor. In the second film, the Terminator became a good guy in the second film to fight an evil robot called the T-1000. He wanted to kill a boy named John Connor. That's because he's the leader of the Resistance in the future. In the third Terminator movie, the Terminator wants to protect Sarah Connor, his girlfriend, into a safe zone away from the city, so that he could become the leader of the Resistance against the robots. So the Terminator is like a superhero to stop Skynet from starting a nuclear war against the world to kill lots of innocent people. So far in California, there's no superheroes living in LA. What about Wonder Woman and Iron Man? Do you guys remember Iron Man? He's from LA, but I don't know if he ever fight criminals. He mostly fight political people, like, you know, enemies of war. He doesn't fight criminals or bank robbers like most superheroes do. Can you think of any other superheroes from living in LA? The movie Demolition Man, it's about a police officer fighting a criminal in the future. That is a superhero movie set in LA, like Demolition Man, with Sylvester Stallone as the hero. I never seen Demolition Man. People on YouTube likes that movie, but I never seen it. It sounds kind of cool though. It's a Sylvester Stallone movie, and that's a famous superhero movie set in California. And John Spartan is the name of the superhero in Demolition Man. And Simon Phoenix is the bad guy, of course. Demolition Man is kind of like a superhero movie of the 90s with Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes. Lots of kids in the 90s loved that movie, especially Sylvester Stallone. He was a famous superhero of the 1980s and 90s, except his superpowers are his strength and his weapons. Not like flying or like, using his web swing or laser eyes. He's a realistic superhero. He has really big muscles. So is Arnold Schwarzenegger. He has big muscles too. So these two guys are muscle men of California, and they are superheroes. So Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, they were the superheroes of California. Some other movies set in LA are cop detective movies. Police detectives of the LAPD, they are kind of like superheroes in LA, of course. Well, because in New York City, they have vigilante superheroes, but the superheroes in LA are detectives. Are there actually real detectives living in LA? There's lots of crimes happening in LA in real life. The Rodney King beating, and bank robberies in North Hollywood, people getting murdered, and robberies and car thefts. That's a lot of crimes that detectives have to solve to chase out the criminals and save the city of LA. In the movie Kindergarten Cop, it's about a detective from the city of LA. Is assigned to go to Oregon to interrogate the girlfriend and the son, the wife and son of the drug dealer, of course. The movie Last Action Hero is definitely a superhero movie set in LA. You know about a detective who wants revenge against the mafia for killing his cousin. So, there's no superheroes in LA. The only superhero they have is Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. Those are superhero movies set in LA, action heroes of guns. In New York City, they have action heroes that use their hands and feet as weapons, and their superpowers. That's because the crime rate in New York City is really high. Some other cities don't even have big crime rates, but the city of LA has a small crime rate, but they do have a big crime rate. There's lots of scary gangbangers in bad neighborhoods, but the city of LA is really sunny and clean and stuff like that. But New York City is really crowded, all sorts of tall buildings. That's a good place for a superhero. Superman is from New York City as well, but the setting of Metropolis is actually based on Toronto, Canada, and Ohio. That's where the comic book writers are from. They're from Ohio. They're not from New York. The Superman creators are from Ohio. The one guy came from Canada, which is kind of interesting, isn't it? So the creators of superheroes are Jewish, and they live in New York City. There's lots of Jews living in New York City, but there's lots of Jews who live in Ohio also. Maybe that's why there's no superheroes in LA. They do have lots of Jewish people, but all the Jewish people are in New York City. Well, again, when we think of superheroes, it's about struggles of immigration in New York City. That New York City is a really tough place for Jewish people to live in. I'm trying to figure out, how come all the superheroes live in New York City, and there's no superheroes living in California or Las Vegas? Let's talk about Las Vegas. Are there any superhero movies set in Las Vegas? Not really. It's more like a city full of casinos and sand and stuff like that. It's not really a place that ordinary citizens will live in. Am I the only person that live in Las Vegas? Well, there's a lot of people who live in Las Vegas. The population's about 500,000 people. Compared to LA, the population's about 3 million people. But New York City has 8 million people. That's the same population as London. Are there any superheroes living in London? Let's talk about London later on. I'm talking about the United States of America in this part of the video. There is a Honey I Shrunk the Kids sequel. It is kind of like a superhero movie. It's mostly a baby that grew bigger by a laser beam. It is kind of like a superhero movie. Superhero movies are about like technology and science and technology. Like science is evil scientists. Well, that's the theme in Honey I Blew Up the Kid. It is kind of like a superhero movie, of course. But the superhero is like Rick Moranis. Is the baby kind of like the superhero? Not really. The baby's more like a villain. He wants to cause trouble in the Las Vegas Strip. That's kind of like his playground, but the superhero is Rick Moranis and his wife. Those are the superheroes in the movie. Love when the mom grew bigger and taught her son a lesson to be a good person, and they shrunk back to their normal size. Does that make you cry? A mom being really nice to her kid? That is the sweetest moment I saw in the movie. Rick Moranis also used like a psychological warfare against the baby with a giant giant stuffed bunny to encourage him to surrender. That's her superpower. It's psychology. Not like using her hands and feet, but psychology. That's her weapon. It's psychology against the baby. That is a superhero movie set in Las Vegas. The movie Tremors are kind of like superhero movies set in Nevada. Burt Gummer is like a superhero with guns who fight monsters underground. It takes place in a small town in the middle of the desert in Nevada, not in the big city like Las Vegas. Do you guys know Nevada has small towns in the desert, not like big cities? Las Vegas is the biggest city in Nevada. So is Henderson. That's the second biggest city in Nevada too. It's a suburb of Las Vegas. I don't know there's any superhero movies set in Las Vegas. It's more like a city full of casinos and stuff like that. Do you guys think Elvis Presley and Blue Man Group and Secret and Roy are kind of like the superheroes of Las Vegas? What about Cirque du Soleil? These are the superheroes of Las Vegas. Blue Man Group are the biggest superheroes from Las Vegas. They're not movie superheroes, they're real-life superheroes on stage. I wish I could talk about Philadelphia, because I used to go there a lot as a kid, but I think I'm running out of time in this video. Maybe next time, probably later on at tonight.